Does Earl Campbell know that Sam Ehlinger is a finalist for the award in his name? And all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today, I want to talk about Sam Ehlinger and Earl Campbell because today, Sam Ehlinger was one of several Texas players who were announced as semifinalists for the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award. For those of you that don't know, the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award is given to the best offensive player from the state of Texas playing college football. You can understand there are a lot of worthy candidates and several for which I think could win this award in any other year. It's Jalen Hurts' award, and that's good for Earl, and we'll get to that in a second. But you should also know Sam Ehlinger, Shane Buechele, CeeDee Lamb, there's Xavier. There's a number of guys on this list, okay? But I want to focus on Jalen Hurts and Sam Ehlinger because Earl Campbell is just the gift that keeps giving. So you might recall I made an upload earlier in the year about Earl Campbell saying some really offside stuff about Sam Ehlinger and invoking Jalen Hurts' name to do so. Earl's contention was that the University of Texas football program is not going to be very good until they get a black quarterback. And by black, he meant dual threat quarterback, but the guys that he name checked were folks like Jalen Hurts. And he went on to say how much he enjoys Jalen Hurts and believes that he and Jalen breathe the same air and they get along and they're text buddies. And I was going, so you're going to throw Sam Ehlinger under the bus because of color of his skin? I can't get with that. Number one, I like Sam. I think Sam is an outstanding person. And if you know something about Sam Ehlinger's story, you will have more respect for him, even if you're an OU fan. I get it. Texas sucks. I'm with that. I'm not going to throw Sam Ehlinger in there or any individual dude. It's kind of like I don't like the Yankees, but I respect the hell out of Derek Jeter as a ball player, and I really enjoyed watching him play. A-Rod, on the other hand, can kick rocks for reasons for which we all know. One of them is lying. But when talking about Sam Ehlinger, he's not had the season that he wanted to have. This is a guy that should have been in the Heisman conversation, according to his own head coach, Tom Herman. Had they played better football, they had a better season. Right now, they're 6-4, hoping to get to 8-4 by the end of the season, see where they end up with a bowl game, with losses to not just Oklahoma and LSU, but also Iowa State and Texas Christian here of late. And the offense has kind of stalled, particularly in the run game. But it ain't been Sam Ehlinger's fault. He's done his job. He's thrown for touchdowns. He's thrown for a lot of yardage. He's thrown more picks this year than he has in years past, but he's become a better quarterback. Now, I kind of want him to win this award. And if Jalen Hurts wasn't 17 yards away from becoming the first and probably only member of the 3,000-yard passing, 1,000-yard rushing club this year, I would say that Sam Ehlinger has the third best opportunity to win that behind what Shane Buechele has done at Southern Methodist. And I think Shane Buechele is going to get a lot of praise and credit for helping turn around a Southern Methodist program that hasn't been really good in a very long time. I mean, they got ranked for the first time in over 2 decades this year, their highest ranking achieved since the 80s. And all because Sonny Dykes brought in Shane Buechele, who was at Texas, who lost the job to Sam Ehlinger. So in some respects, Shane Buechele's turnaround at SMU is courtesy of Sam Ehlinger being a better quarterback than he is at Texas. Is that not worthy of winning the award for the best player offensively in the state of Texas? Maybe. I also get that CeeDee Lamb is a deserving winner of this award with 983 yards receiving off 44 catches. He's averaging 22.7 yards per catch. As a matter of fact, Oklahoma boasts a bunch of dudes. I want to say 6 guys that are averaging at least 16.4 yards per catch with at least 6 receptions. One of those is true freshman Theo Weiss, another Charleston Rambo at like 19.5 yards per catch. Lee Morris is in there at like 17.9. Braden Willis is in there at like 17.9. I mean, they got dudes that are catching the ball from Jalen Hurts, even as the offense seemed to be centered around what Jalen Hurts is going to do on the ground and what CeeDee Lamb was going to catch over the middle or down the sideline. Because I've trotted this stat out there before, but going into the game against Baylor, for which Jalen Hurts had to play without CeeDee Lamb, Lamb was responsible for 54% of all of Jalen Hurts' touchdown passes and 35% of all of Jalen Hurts' thrown for yardage. That's a lot when you take into account my man has passed for 3,000 yards in 10 games. He's averaging better than 300 yards passing and better than 98 yards rushing per game. In fact, against Baylor, he went for 297 through the air and 114 on the ground, 27 carries. He's been a monster. Also, there's that football omen of Jalen Hurts having exactly as many yards rushing, 983, as CeeDee Lamb has receiving, 983. All things to keep in perspective as we continue to talk about Sam Ehlinger, Jalen Hurts, and what they've been doing, because both of those guys have been compared to Tim Tebow because of their propensity to run and the way in which they do run the ball with some authority and the way that they can turn into truck sticks. If you run QB power with those guys, you're probably going to pick up the first down. You're probably going to pick up the touchdown. They finish strong. They're big, strong, stout dudes. If you've seen Sam Ehlinger's lower half, you see a very, very stout man around the hips. The same thing can be said of Jalen Hurts. And I would trust both of them to go get you a W. But this year, Jalen Hurts has just been a better football player. But I am rooting for Sam Ehlinger to go out there and do this thing and convince the people who award this thing to give it to him so I can watch the awkward silence unfold as Sam Ehlinger accepts Earl Campbell's award at the event named for Earl Campbell as the best offensive player from the state of Texas in 2019, because that is the kind of college football that I'm here to watch. I'm here for these sorts of stories, because giving it back to a guy that doesn't think you're very good is some of the sweetest revenge that you're ever going to get in life. And Sam Ehlinger has been through so much this year. I mean, particularly from a public outrage standpoint. I mean, before I got to know the guy, I drug him a couple times. I've even drug him a couple times this year for the way that he's played some football games, throwing 4 interceptions against Texas Christian in one. But he's handled himself with absolute aplomb, even as Baker Mayfield has gone at his chest in Norman at his pro football camp, even as Terry Bradshaw got sweaty and talked noise about him ahead of a beatdown Texas gave to La Tech. I mean, it's coming from all sides for this kiddo, because he decided to ride for Texas and tell everybody we're back after the Sugar Bowl, in which they beat a Georgia team that was supposed to be pretty good, didn't have DeAndre Baker, but they won the Sugar Bowl and they won 10 games with 4 losses. And now we're talking about Texas going into a decade of mediocrity. I mean, it's been 10 straight years of Texas losing at least 4 games. Oklahoma hasn't lost 4 games or more, except maybe like once in the last 20 years, going back to like 98. And that was just an off year with Brett Bomar doing stupid stuff and Bob Stoops and whatnot. But like, I can't imagine what you must feel like if you're a Texas fan right now, because you just ain't very good. Everybody's dragging you. You are the richest program in all of college sports, and you just can't get it done, particularly in the Big 12 Conference, which looks destined to have Oklahoma or Baylor win the championship trophy, or, to your chagrin, give Oklahoma a 5th straight Big 12 title. Sucks to be a Texas fan. I'm not one. I'm gonna kind of enjoy this, while also saying I think that Sam Ehlinger can win this. Sam Ehlinger can win this award, as Jalen Hurts is probably gonna end up at the Heisman ceremony anyway. Probably win the Davey O'Brien Award anyway. Probably be a finalist for the Maxwell Award anyway. And please, college football, do me this favor: put Sam Ehlinger on the podium next to Earl Campbell, as Earl Campbell has to give Sam Ehlinger the trophy in his name after Earl Campbell said Sam Ehlinger ain't good enough to get it done. I want a Jalen Hurts. All right, that's it for me. Doses.